Oh shit, I'm live. And I'm gonna say that every time I go live. I am currently waiting for Regan to join me. And there she is. Regan is a lion fight champion. I'm going to add her in here right now. Hi! Look at
Hey,
curly hair. So pretty.
I had to show the world what happens when I don't have you in my life.
Oh, I'm so sad, but it looks so nice.
Aw, thanks, girl.
So, how are you all there in isolation?
I'm good. I'm lonely.
Lonely? Aw. I want to ask because I'm not sure. Can you guys hear and see us? Because sometimes this is the crow go. I think that means it's
Oh,
good. It
no,
took
no.
me a minute. You're a bit fuzzy on my end. I can't see you 100%.
Oh, my connection isn't that great. You keep cutting out on me a little bit.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't know if it's me or it might be me because I'm out in the country.
Oh, boo. Reagan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm gonna click you out and put you back in just to make sure it works properly, okay?
Okay.
Technical difficulties as always, friends. Okay, let's see if this works. Hi.
Stop.
That's a bit better on my end.
Is it?
So, Reagan, are you able to work still? Are you still working?
Yeah, I'm lucky because I work in insurance, so it's an essential service.
Right.
Uh, yeah, so I'm working from home.
And has anything changed on the insurance side of things with all this COVID stuff, or is it still pretty well the same?
Um, Not really, not yet. I think that some insurance companies were actually talking with the government about like lowering rates or something like that during
Okay.
the pandemic, but I don't really do that side of things, so I wouldn't really know. For me, it's business as usual. It's just it's less busy is all.
Right. That's fair. Reagan, are you still able to train?
Well, I mean, in a manner of speaking, definitely not like what I would be doing with you, punching my face every Friday night, but
Is what it is.
yeah. Yeah.
No, Reagan, the photo I shared of you, you were gushing blood from your eye. I see that's all healed up now.
Yeah. I mean, I think I look pretty good considering they
Was
couldn't do
that
it.
from that was your last fight, right?
Yes, with Magali. That was my last fight.
Right. So that was your second lion fight
That
or
was my second pro lion fight because I
okay.
fought on their undercard way back in 2013, I think.
Now, was it difficult, Reagan, getting a contract with them?
Yeah. Yeah, it was really fucking difficult. Oh, by the way, if you guys came here for an intellectual conversation, I apologize.
It ain't gonna happen tonight, friends.
Yeah.
So tell me a bit about it because I'm so curious. I know that Muay Thai, boxing, kickboxing, MMA, they're all very male dominated sports.
Mhm.
So, as a female pro athlete in a sport like that, how do you find, or how did you find it was getting those pro fights? And I know you also have your, as a disadvantage, you're a lot smaller than most girls too, like in the sense of you fight at a lower weight, which is also harder to find. So, did you find going in really difficult?
Um, yeah, I definitely did. I think it was a combination of being not just like being female, definitely it was harder. Um, Being small, but also being Canadian, unfortunately. Um,
Right.
when I first started fighting amateur, we didn't even have a sanctioning body in Ontario, so there were no Ontario fights for me. My first two amateur fights were in Gatineau, so not too far away. But my first fight I ever fought, I walked around probably 104 pounds, and the girl I fought was 122. Uh,
Wow.
like walking around. Yeah, it was hard to find fights. So I didn't have the luxury of like saying no to fights. I pretty much took anything I could get, whatever weight it was. If it was female, I would fight. And I think now it's a bit easier because there is a sanctioning body, obviously.
Right.
Um, so it's easier to get that amateur experience. But for me, like getting professional fights, because I was at the point where I had fought everybody that I could fight amateur in North America. So and there really aren't any, like I fought the one professional female fighter at 100 pounds, which is my natural weight class.
Right.
Um, there's nobody else for me to fight, so I really do have to go to fight. But even in North America, like there's not a lot of professional female Muay Thai fighters. There's a lot of MMA fighters, but when it comes to like pure Muay Thai, there's really not pros.
Okay.
Which I see changing because I see a lot of really good amateur females on the scene coming up now. So I really do think that's going to shift soon. But I think like that's one big difference when you have male fighters, like they can transition from amateur to pro a lot quicker just because there's so much more opportunity. There's
Right.
more fight. Um, yeah, I kind of digressed there. What else did you ask me? Intellectual.
Intellectual is just too difficult. So being female in this industry and now going pro, getting fights online, going to Vegas, stuff like that, televised fights. For that spot, did you find? I mean, of course, like you said, it was difficult to get the contract, but did you also find it difficult to get the same respect that the men were getting? Did you feel like it's? I don't want to say made to be a joke when with the female fighters, but it's just not as branded or branded differently.
I don't know. I think like fighting with Lion Fight, I feel like if like you're interacting with athletes all the time and like the promoters are like Scott Ken is a great guy. He's always been super respectful. Um, and he actually has committed to having at least one female fight per card, which I know doesn't sound like a deal, but it is because like how often do you see just male cards coming on, right? And even the last card that they were going to have was going to be there was actually going to be two pro female fights out of the four pro fights on the card, on the televised card. So that's a
Oh
huge
wow.
step in direction for sure. Um, I think now I don't ever feel like I don't get the same respect. I think when I first started out, it was harder because I was like a small 100-pound female that was one of two people or two females fighting or sparring in a room of 20 huge guys. Um,
Right.
but even then, like the serious athletes never really, like they're always really welcoming. Um, so I don't know, I never really felt that. And like definitely being a female, it's been harder to get pro fights. But being taken seriously as an athlete because I'm a female, I don't know. Like, I think that we're getting to a point where it's more accepted
Right.
and it's happening. So deal with it. I know
Right.
when I first started training, it was probably like 2008 or 2009. It was really disheartening because like back then, if anyone remembers back then in the UFC, that was like a time when Dana White was even quoted saying like females will never fight in the UFC.
Wow.
Um, so like being a female just starting out in a male sport and you're excited, like you love your training, and you hear that from one of like the top CEOs in the world of a huge fighting organization, you feel like kind of heartbroken. um, but I feel like so many females have made so many strides, and in the last 10 years, we've come so far.
It's so true. It's very true. Regan, how long have you been in Muay Thai?
Too long, Tara.
Too long. How long?
Uh,
Tell us how.
well, I just told you I started training like I think it was 2008 or 2008. It might have been 2010. I don't remember.
Oh, wow.
Uh, I've been
Crazy.
hit in the head a lot by yours truly.
Fair enough. Regan, got when you started deciding that you wanted to go more pro, what was your track record? Now I'm losing intellect.
Hmm. My track record in terms of fights. Uh,
Yes.
so I didn't really keep track of my amateur fights. I have a vague idea, but because, like I told you, I didn't have the luxury of picking my fights. I had to take anything that was handed to me. So I was taking the bottom of the barrel. Like, you fight 3, 4 weight classes up, you take it. um, so I mean, I had losses, and I know a lot of people like they're like, oh, they're undefeated, but I'm like, I did learn a lot from those losses. I think I learned more from the wins I had. Um, and I think I probably had about 20 some amateur fights
Well,
um, when I decided to go pro. And I went pro because like there was really that's where I needed to go. Like there's no one else for me to fight. There's nothing else for me to do. And I had been amateur for so long because it was so difficult to get fights, going with huge gaps of not fighting. I'm like, it's just time to do it. Um, but like, yeah, I don't know. That I honestly forget what my actual record is.
so what is your pro record then?
Pro, it's 5-2 now.
5-2. And the last fight was a loss. Do you plan on a rematch?
I would love to have a rematch. Like I plan on a rematch. I
I'm
know.
asking for her.
I have actually. The next day, I emailed Scott, the matchmaker, and I was like, "Dude, we gotta have a rematch." He's like, "Of course. We'll see what we can do in the next year." Uh, yeah, I really would like a rematch because I really do believe in that fight. I feel like it I wanted it to go all 5 rounds because Magali's a really great fighter. Don't get me wrong, I think she's amazing, and that's why I wanted to go 5 rounds because I wanted it to really bring out the best in both of us. I thought it would have been a great fight. Um, Unfortunately, I really did like their game plan worked. She cut me early, had the fight stopped, and I don't know. Unfortunately, that shit happens. But I really do believe that it would have been more, and I could have won at the end.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to wait and see then for the next one. You're like, Lion fight. We want a rematch. So now, Regan, you were supposed to actually go to Peru with Taylor, and you
Yes.
guys were scheduled to fight. Everything was going to go down, and then this sort of happened. Did they postpone it, or did they just cancel it completely?
Well, they postponed it to next year, so they basically canceled it.
Pretty much.
Uh, Unfortunately, yeah. But no one's fault. It's a pandemic. What can you do, right?
Yeah, fair enough. Did you? I know we were talking about this whole pandemic when I first came out and I was doing your hair, and you're like, "You're scared, aren't you? It's fine." So you didn't really take it as seriously at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
When did it actually become more real for you?
Um, Honestly, it was probably so that was the Saturday before we were supposed to leave for Peru,
Yeah.
and that whole week we were like, I was working, and it was the next Friday that they decided that we weren't going. But up until Thursday, we were going. Like we were in communication with Muay Thai Canada, and they're like, "No, it's a go. We're going. Don't worry." And I was like, "It's probably not a good idea coming like Thursday night." I'm like, "We're not going to be able to get back in the country."
Yep.
So
Fair enough.
yeah, Friday came and like they said it was a go, and I'm like, I don't think it's gonna be a go. And by noon they messaged us and they're like, yeah, so we're not going anymore, guys. And I think
Wow.
that's when I was like, yeah, this is probably gonna be pretty serious. Uh,
A little bit, a little bit. What are
yeah,
your
yeah.
thoughts on it now? Are you still, um, are you afraid of the virus?
I mean, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of no virus. No,
I ain't
I
afraid of that.
I'm not afraid of the virus personally. Like I'm pretty like I like to think I'm really young. I'm pretty healthy. I don't have any disease. I actually like I moved back in with my dad back in September just to save money for a down payment. And he's older. He's like 72. He used to smoke like 2 packs a day. He's got high blood pressure. He has asthma. Um, so
You.
I worry, yeah, I worry about that. Like I worry like if I were to give him something. That's why I'm staying home.
Fair
Um,
enough.
like honestly, I think it's a virus like any other. I think most people are gonna eventually get it. That's not what I'm afraid of. It's more like the collateral damage and like what it could do to the most at-risk population, right?
Right. That's fair enough. Regan, now that you're there isolating, no pending fights coming up, how are you feeling not training the way that you used to, not getting ready for something like you normally would be? What's going through your mind?
Um, honestly, at first, um, I was it was kind of nice. I'm not gonna lie. Because I work 9 to 5, and I spend a lot of this year training full time on top of that. So training like a professional fighter, that's a job of its own. So trying to squeeze in training like early morning before work, lunch break. I would take extended hours. I'm sorry if my boss is watching this. And, and then after work, be training, and then come home and get home by like 11 or midnight and be in bed and have to do it again the next day for a long time. So it was a good little break the first like couple weeks, and now I'm really starting to get antsy and I really need to hit something again.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. Regan, I was talking to Rob yesterday about, okay, hold on. Can you move your phone? I want to see if it's, you're still a bit blurry.
I'm
No.
sorry.
Well, I can still hear you. It's okay. I just wanted to see your face.
Can you not see me?
I can, but it's fuzzy. It comes and goes.
Oh, it's honestly probably my connection. I'm way out in the middle of nowhere, so
Oh
I'm sorry.
man. Fair enough. Okay, so I wanted to ask you because I was talking with Rob about this yesterday a little bit, and we were talking about concussions and injuries and stuff like that. As an athlete, especially a female athlete, and I keep bringing it back to this because I always wonder: is there more pressure, self pressure that we put on ourselves because we feel like we have something to prove? So, as a female athlete getting injured, do you feel like you try to suppress the pain of those injuries more so just to prove yourself in the way that a man would, or is it just you're injured, you're injured?
I don't know, man. I don't think that I feel like that's a very personal thing. Like for me, I am very bullheaded and stubborn, so if I'm hurt, like I'm not gonna admit I am. But I don't know if that's because I mean, I just feel like I have something to prove regardless. Like I've got a chip on my shoulder, but I don't know if that's because I'm just the smallest person in the gym. uh,
No one's
but
gonna take me down.
I don't know. I don't know. I actually want to throw that question back to you because I know after your last fight, you were talking about feeling kind of concussed after your fight.
Yeah, I was definitely pissed off about it. And honestly, had it been any other area of my body other than my head, I would have been back in the gym, like limping my way through everything, not caring. Like you said, I feel like I had something to prove. But because it was my head, I was like, ugh, we're not gonna play hero right now. Like, still need this thing to work. So it was a bit unfortunate. And the thing is, like, a lot of people don't realize like you have a job to go back to, like fighting is it, you'd like that to be your career. Yes, I get that, but you still have life, right? So you can only get so injured. um and it's like what Rob said, you gotta outweigh what's the worth. um Regan, with family or friends, even when you started your fight career, were people skeptical? Were they very supportive? What did you find?
Um, I mean, I'm pretty lucky. My dad is super supportive. Um, like my brothers and sisters just make fun of me all the time. I don't know, like, and when I first started fighting, um, actually, when I first got into training, it's kind of funny. Like I had a boyfriend at the time. We lived together, um, and he wanted to get married and have kids, and I was 21 and I wasn't ready. But he came from this really traditional like farming family, and like he was 25, and it was like it was a big deal because he wasn't married, he didn't have kids, so he felt a lot of pressure. And actually, funny enough, he was one of my biggest supporters because we broke up because I was like, I want to train and I want to fight, and like I'm really sorry, like I don't want to get married and have kids, right? Like, peace, bro.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we were actually really good friends. Like, you know what? Like, I understand. Just go do it. Like, I just feel like I've been lucky because I've had so much good support in my life to do this sort of thing, right?
That's
Um,
fair. Um, with family support, you know, having to sort of make those big decisions at that age, 21, deciding like I'm not going to go that route. I want to do this now. Being where you are today, are you happy with the career that you've had up until this point?
I'm gonna say no. Like, I don't think you can be, especially because it I mean, like, yes, I'm happy that I've got this experience, but I feel like it was so hard to get the experience I did get, and I feel like I could have gotten more, and I could have done more in 10 years than I have. And
Right.
and yeah, and I think just being at a disadvantage, I'm not disadvantaged, but you know, being small and like a female, it was just so hard to get that experience at the time. So I'm gonna say no, and I feel like now, you know, I was saying before, like there's so much more female talent coming up. There's so many really good, awesome amateur female fighters that I see coming, and they're really like paving the way. Like I feel like if I started now, I wish I could be 20 now and like start my amateur career to get that experience with them. You know what I mean?
Fair. It's I feel like a lot more attention has been drawn to the sport more recently than there was in the past. It wasn't as highlighted as it is now, I think, which is why more people are coming to it. Obviously, you did train in Thailand for a little bit. How long
Mm-hmm.
were you there for?
Um, I mean, I went in 2014 for about a month, and I trained in Bangkok at Khao Samrit. And then I went back in 2016 and I stayed for about 7 months. So I lived in Ubon Ratchathani, which is like northeast Thailand, very like small town country kind of Thailand. Um, yeah, so I was there for about 7 months.
And did you find the training there different than it is here? Is it more intense over there, or?
Well, it is different because you have like your day is more structured. Like you're actually like there as a fighter for the gym, so you're training 2 or 3 times a day. You wake up, you go for your run, come back, you hit the bag, and you have some. Like, you don't hold pads. Like the trainers hold pads for all the fighters and the people who are paying to train there. Um, Same thing in the afternoon. Like run, like you hit the bag, you hit pads with your trainer, you do some clinching, you get thrown around by a bunch of little Thai boys, get humiliated, uh, and that sort of thing. So I mean, it is very different in that respect.
And how many fights did you do while you were there?
Um, I only did so the first time I had 3 fights, and I did a tournament, which is why I had a bit more in that like short time. And then when I was there for 7, I only had 3 fights in that 7 month period. I was supposed to fight more, um, and I actually had to. We stopped fighting because the king unfortunately passed away when we were there, so they stopped all the fights in the country shortly before I left, actually,
Oh
because
wow,
I have this really big fight in Cambodia, like a big televised one, but it didn't actually happen because of that. So.
that's so crazy. Do you think you'd ever go back to Thailand?
Yeah, for sure. I'm actually like this whole pandemic and being isolated. I'm really like I think that I would love to go back. I mean, like I was thinking before to take a trip for about a month. But I just think the like your training is so much more concentrated and focused for a shorter amount of time, and like the opportunity to fight regularly is more there,
Right.
and fight in my weight class too.
Yeah, I'm assuming the girls are a lot tinier too than
I mean,
the guys are smaller than us. Um, Reagan, now with COVID, with being home, not training, not fighting, um, do you see a clear cut future for yourself? Do you have any ideas of what you want to do? And then, like, whenever this is said and done?
Well, first of all, I can't wait to see your beautiful face and have you like teep me in the tit again. Uh,
I got that aim, people. I got that aim.
above the waist, just above the waist, please. But yeah, like I think once I don't know if things are gonna go back to normal in the next year or two, but as normal as they can be, I'm hoping I can travel and go to Thailand and train and compete. I'd like to get a few more pro fights in Thailand, work on some things that I need to work on, and then come back. Um, I know, I mean, I do have a contract line fight. I don't know what the future is going to be like in the next set, but I'm looking forward to a rematch.
Fair enough.
But like we gotta have a rematch.
Gotta
And
have it.
yeah, yeah.
So, have they contacted you at all since you've been sort of off? Because you were supposed to have another fight with them too. And was it in June, the next fight?
No, there was nothing. Like there was a talk about a fight with someone in particular, but it wasn't set in stone. I think they were waiting until after the April fight card and to
Okay.
select. Um, but and like we've been in contact, but again because this happened, I mean nobody knows what's happening.
Great. Do you see an end in sight for all this craziness?
Um, I mean, obviously, there though. I don't know when. I don't know what it look like. I don't know when things are going to go back to as normal as they can be. Um, hopefully, within the next, really, in the next few, if not like month, that we can start to slowly get back to normal in some respect.
Teensy tiny bit, get back a little bit. It's
Yeah,
weird. No, I don't think any of us actually know how to answer that question. It's like, I don't know. I don't even think the government knows how to answer that question.
I
Kind
don't
of just,
think.
yeah, just accept the fact that we're here. So, Reagan, tell us a joke.
I don't have any jokes now.
I know, but I
What
gotta put people on the spot a little bit. Rob danced with his dog. I don't see you dancing with Nick.
I mean, I could. I don't have any music, but poor guy was napping.
Oh, hi there, bud. Do you want me to put you music on? Will you dance? I was telling Rob, I said Diddy screwed me over with his dance party, so now I feel like I'm boring.
No, it's okay. I don't want to dance. I can't compete with Rob's moves.
I
Neither.
know, he's like shaking the dog and
Yeah, makes like he's so grumpy. He's like, "Put me back. I was sleeping." Sorry, bro. No dancing.
Reagan, what do you miss most? Do you
I
miss
miss, I miss you doing my hair. Uh,
Aw, thanks. I miss doing your hair too.
I miss my. Can I say that? I was gonna say I miss my box getting pounded every Friday.
You
Only
are live on air.
it's because Tara has really bad aim, guys. It's not a sexual joke.
This is the unfortunate side of my amateur career. I have the game. That's why I lost my last fight.
Yeah, but I bet she was real sore after in the nether
Speaking of
regions.
rematches,
Oh yeah, you. What about you?
I want a rematch. I definitely want a rematch. I was talking to Jeff. I said I wanted to fight again in May. That ain't gonna happen. So now I'm just fighting against the urge to open the fridge and eat everything inside. It's going. It's a fight. It's a daily battle.
I feel you. I feel you.
But I mean, Rob did inspire me, so I got out today, did a little bit of run, blasted some music, sang like a crazy woman down some empty streets, and I think I might do it again tomorrow and the next day, and just kind of make that my new routine in the morning because what else is there to do in isolation?
Wait, do you sing while you run?
I do.
What do
I
you
do.
sing?
Oh my god, everything. Everything and anything.
Okay.
Usually old stuff.
Sorry?
Like old school. Anything old school.
You like Nicki Minaj, I know.
I know, I do. I sing Nicki Minaj while I run.
So Tara, I know
Yeah.
that a lot of people don't know this about you, but you just brought it up. So can you
I'm
please
not doing it.
can you please enlighten people with your secret skill?
my my rapping suburban.
Yeah, everyone watching, Tara is a freestyle rapper.
It's true. It's very true. But I need to be provoked first, Reagan. I can't just spit fire on my own.
I just provoked you.
Yeah, but I need you to like,
Yo
drop
mom,
some my what?
yo mama.
I don't know how to retaliate against that. I don't know. That didn't just try to say about my mama.
Your daddy then.
I can't. I don't have it in me. I need like I don't know. We need like I need a rap battle. Everything's got to be a fight with me. Do you notice that? Just everything.
Yeah, you got some built up aggression, that's for sure.
Yeah. Says the girl who was bleeding into her own eye, screaming, "I'm good." Don't call the fight.
I was good.
I was
No, I was
watching
probably
on TV, reading your lips, yelling at a doctor, going, "I'm fine. I'm fine."
I mean, I was fine.
Yeah.
I felt fine. It was just the blood pooling in my eye. No big deal. It's fine.
Just couldn't see out of one eye, but you still got shots in that were like,
I know. That's one of my big regrets is like, I know their game plan was like, because I love to clinch and I just kind of fall back to clinching. And she's got a great coach, Carl. Not my Carl, different Carl. Uh, but like I know their game plan was to pull me in. They knew I would rush into clinch, and then if I felt uncomfortable, I would try and clinch because that's where I'm safe, right? So she snuck in that elbow that cut me. I didn't even feel. I just remember exiting the clinch, and then I felt the blood like trickling down, and I was like, "Fuck, they're gonna call this fight." And that's when I panicked. I was like, "If they see blood, they're gonna call it." Um, so then I naturally was like, I have to clinch her and throw her and cut her too, so that they know I'm gonna win. And then that did bad.
oh,
I would have stuck to my outside game. Like I really was winning on the outside. That's where I should have stayed. But I was too stubborn and bullheaded to do that.
so do you think that it's hard because you have those habits that you have to like erase in order to be more strategic with certain people? Do you think that it's hard because they're so embedded in you?
I think that I not usually like I'm pretty good at refocusing in a fight. I think it was the first time that I had ever been cut to a degree that I knew it wouldn't look good to the doctor judges, and that's what made me panic. So what I needed to work on was focusing and not panicking. Just in that fight, every other fight I'm pretty good um, when it comes to that, like panicking anyway.
Right.
So going forward, that's something I do have to work on for sure.
It's a really mentally challenging sport. And I know that Jeff would always yell at me and be like, control your emotions. And you always said it too,
Yeah.
you're like, you have to control your emotions throughout the game. And it's so hard to do because people are hitting you. So you're like, instinctively, you react on every level. And
Yeah.
it's really interesting to watch the pro athletes channel that and sort of harness their ability to not get mad and fight with tactic instead of that rage that just wants to come through. So that's I think one of my favorite parts of the sport is just being able to control the mind, right?
Yeah, and I think actually training has helped me with that. Like I don't ever, and it's funny because I see you spar and I can see you get angry, and I know when you're angry.
Yeah. Oh,
but
nothing.
but if anything, I feel like training has helped me really just be not angry. Like I
Yeah.
rarely get angry. Like and in that fight, that instance, it wasn't really anger. It was more just like panic because I didn't want to feel like I was losing. I didn't want people to think I was losing because of the blood, right? Um, but anger, no. I feel like training in Muay Thai in general, like the more you train, the less angry I am.
I think so. Yeah. Well, it is that release, and that's what I was saying to Rob yesterday. I'm like, I just want to get back into it. Like, I want that outlet because it's you have all this built up energy, and you have all this, and then you find a way to sort of let it out, and then it's gone.
And you're happy.
And you're happy. Regan, I remember talking to you doing your hair, and I was saying to you, because I just want to get this live on air, that we would be in this exact situation, and that was my prediction. And I said to remember that I said that this was going to happen, and you were like, okay, it's not going to get to that point, ha ha ha, but okay. When I was comparing it to Italy, and you're like, yeah, but that's there, that's not, we're in Canada.
I don't think I said that. I think you're just putting words into my mouth.
No, I definitely remember, and I wanted to get it out on camera so that everybody knows I predicted this.
So you want everyone to think that you're psychic, is what you're saying?
No, I'm definitely not psychic. Highly intuitive is the
I see. No, I didn't. I didn't think it would get to a lockdown point, but again, like I'm not a scientist.
I know. None of us are, my dear. It's crazy because you read all these theories that are coming out now, and nothing is really based off fact. And then you have the facts, and it's just so contradicting. So I think that, like you said, we're not scientists. Let's leave it to the scientists.
Yeah, not the psychics over here.
Yeah, no. Highly intuitive individual. Regan, now that you're live, what would you like to leave your viewers with?
Girl, I don't know. I told you, don't come to me for intellectual conversation or advice. Like, I'm just here to have a good time, okay? I need more wine in my coffee cup now.
No, I'm drinking boiled water.
You would.
I would. I used to put lemon in it, but then the acidity in my stomach was so bad, so I was like, ugh. Too much coffee in the day and lemon at night? Not fun. Regan, how is it not seeing your boyfriend?
Well, I mean, that's probably the hardest part, to be honest. I did deliver him cookies on Saturday, though. We went for a walk. I know, but I feel bad about it. I do miss him a lot. Don't tell him. He's probably, I hope he's not watching, but that's fine.
Aww. Here I am asking all the hard questions.
Yeah, for real. What are you doing, bro? Like, I told you to ask me fun questions.
I'm not a fun person. I don't know why you didn't realize before.
It's like, let me drink my wine and cry now.
On that note, we're going to leave you alone.
Well, I love you. And I hope that no one was offended or bored by my commentary.
No. Guys, we have, Regan is a very comical young lady. Only I understand her jokes, unfortunately.
So sorry for everyone else.
So I'm sorry for whoever came to see this.
That's fair.
Thank you so much, Regan. That was a lot of fun. We'll chat soon. I hope that we can see each other soon. I hope I can punch you and you can punch me soon. I'll be so excited.
Yeah, that would be good.
And I know I always get all sappy, but I genuinely admire you as an athlete. I've always looked up to you, and I think that you're a pretty awesome person. And I just really like to tell everybody that I know you because I think it's really cool.
Well, thank you. I think you're a pretty awesome person in general.
Oh, thanks.
And I wish that you could blow dry my hair every day, but you said no.
You're looking like the Lion King over there.
I know, it's like my Mufasa do. This is why you're essential.
That's what I'm saying, man. How am I not essential?
You are. You are.
Thank you so much, my love. We will chat soon.
Okay.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Guys, that was awesome. Tomorrow night, I have Lindsay coming back on the show to talk about the LCBO being open and how that affects her on a personal level since she's dealt with alcoholism in the past, not herself personally, but has seen friends and family go through that situation. Take care and have a good night.